Hi there. Welcome to another episode of Thornton Now. I am Mayor Jan Coleman,
And I'm Sergeant Jim Gerhardt.
and we're here today to talk about the new Police Training Center, give you a tour of all the amazing things that we have at this center, how we work with our recruits, how we work with our officers, and anything else that Jim's going to share with us. Well, shall we take a look around?
Let's do it.
So on opening night, this was one of the most fun rooms to come check out because I think it simulates a lot of things that you all have to deal with, but it gave the public an opportunity to see what you do. Tell us about this room.
Well, this is a simulator for different kinds of scenarios officers might encounter during their day. Sometimes it'll be something where you can just talk a person through whatever it is, whatever the situation is. Sometimes it escalates into a use of force type situation. It gives us the ability to assess decision making. It gives us the ability to assess selection of weapons if needed, de-escalation, how effective they are. Basically, there are scenarios that operate from a computer, and there are branching options. So you and I might do a scenario, but we might have a totally different outcome because it branches differently. One might comply, one might not comply. So they had originally been developed with one screen. So basically, it was an officer standing in front of one screen, which gives you a certain feeling of realism. But with the multiple screens, it's a lot more immersive. It really gives you that sense that you're out in the environment where something's happening. It's much more realistic.
So a little bit of a step up from Duck Hunter back in the day, right?
Yes, it's not a video game, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Although there are options in here that are family friendly. So when we do tours and things like that, we don't show a lot of the very graphic, realistic things an officer might face, but we do have things that are family friendly. So, everything we do in here is really designed to increase skills, take people's decision making, challenge decision making, so that we have good outcomes in the real world.
Great. Can you show me some?
We certainly can. This simulates being out target shooting or on a almost like a police range. Until our range building is built, this is a way to supplement some of that without having to spend the money to go out to a range facility. So what we can do, and this is what we'll do to recruits, is we'll tell them these are 3 separate threats. And so when we call out the threat, you have to acquire that target and fire the shot. Left threat. Right threat. Center threat. Left threat. This is just an example of how we can get people ready for different kinds of shooting with accuracy. So you ready for a scenario?
Sure.
All right. The scenarios, when they start, we usually give an instruction to the students about what it is they're going into. In this particular one, we would tell them that it's a person who might be under the influence of something, who has a gun and has been not specifically pointing it at anybody, but he's been waving it around. So you and I are the officers. We have to respond and deal with this individual. Here's this gentleman here. So for example, I'll start this one. Sir, Thornton Police Department, can we talk to you for a second? Hi, I see that you have a gun. Don't go for it. Don't go for it. Keep your hand off of it. I understand. Let's just talk. Let's just talk. Can you come over here? Can you put your hands up for us? I understand. Please stop touching it. Can you put your hands up for us? Put your hands up for me, please. Put your hands up and then come over here and talk to us. Put your hands up. All right, now come over here and talk to us. We just want to talk. So that's an example where we might have some interaction. Of course, that's all pre-done, so I'm guessing as to what it's going to say or how it's going to respond. But the person running the system here decides whether or not that scenario ends that way or it goes a different direction. So we'll run it for you again, and this time you talk to him.
Oh my gosh. Hi, sir. How are you doing today?
Identify yourself as a police officer.
I'm a police officer. Can I help you?
Yeah, I got it. This is mine.
Keep his hands away
Okay.
from the gun.
Yep. Keep your hands away from the gun. It's okay.
This is mine, right? We're good. I'm in the 26.
Yep, you do. Can you raise your hand so we can talk? Yep. Yep, I understand.
So that's the type of thing an officer is going to have to assess on the fly, and this is
Right.
real life. You don't ever know on any contact how it's going to go, so you have to be not paranoid, but prepared. This system isn't designed just for either it's all or nothing. We either de-escalate or we have to shoot. So it also allows us to simulate batons for strikes or pepper spray. So this little deal right here would be pepper spray. So giving you a warning on the front end, this one's probably going to go to where you might want to pepper spray the person.
Okay.
So I can take the gun from you and give you that.
Okay.
The pepper spray, the best thing to do is actually use your thumb.
Okay.
Because if you use your finger, you tend to go down like this.
Ah.
And what you want to do is basically think about a 1 second burst of the spray across the face area, across the eyes area. Go ahead and talk to them, and again, you might have to pepper spray them. So we're downrange of that officer, so
Okay.
maybe move a little to the right,
Move to my right.
a little bit to your right. Okay, go ahead and spray them. There you go. The point being, again, is, especially on something like that, it's not so much about accuracy as it's about decision making.
Right.
Is that appropriate? You have a person with a knife, he's not immediately threatening anyone, he's not holding it out, but he's not complying with the officer who's telling him to drop it and perhaps put him under arrest. So an option for us is to potentially the pepper spray.
Yeah, this is great, knowing that there are so many different ways to train our officers and so many different options they have that are not lethal.
If you think about it, what's our other option? We sit in a classroom, we teach them constitutional law, it's all theory. Here we can put them in scenarios. We can actually put them in situations and give them that ability to assess what they have, use the proper tools, de-escalate if they can, but ultimately be safe, protect themselves, and protect the public.
That's great, yeah, because we know lethal force is a last resort.
Every use of force option, honestly, is a last resort. It's all what the difference is that it depends on how the other person, how lethal the other person's presentation is. But we always want to use force as a last option. We'd rather talk our way out of a situation anytime than have to use force. That's always dictated by the individual we're in contact with, whether or not we use force or not.
Well, thank you for showing this to me. What's next?
Let's go over here. I got more for you. So this is one of two gymnasiums we have. This is a smaller setup here, but it allows us to do an awful lot because it's wall-to-wall pads, very safe for officers. We're trying to make sure we have as few injuries as possible. But today we're going to talk about taser in here.
Okay. So you can see we got a green laser and a red laser on there. So when we put it up on target, that's roughly where your spread is going to be. So what we're looking for here is probably about, I would say this distance is really good. The other thing we do with this is we can use the taser as a means to de-escalate someone because nobody likes the sound of electricity and everybody knows what the taser sounds like. So we say, hey, put down the bat, put down the bat. We start barking it at them. As long as we're using these buttons on the side, there's no cartridge that'll be fired. All right, you ready to try it?
Sure.
All right, I'll have you put your safety glasses on. One thing really important before you fire the taser that we teach, we yell taser, taser, taser. What that does is that prevents sympathetic gunfire, which means, because you kind of heard that pop from the last one, if you don't say that and somebody hears a pop, they might sympathetically go, oh, they shot, and then they'll shoot too with their gun. We say taser, 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 loud enough for everybody to hear it so they know what's going on. All
Okay.
right? So I'll turn it off for you, and then same thing, you want to get back and kind of split that belt line. That's your perfect shot.
Okay.
Sound good? All right.
All
I'll
right.
pass that off to you.
This is a little nerve-wracking. All right, warning. I have a taser.
All right, not flying.
All right. Taser, taser, taser.
Let's flip the switch off. So you can see that you can touch these now that the power's off. It's actually a really, really good hit. You're above and below the waistline. All right, we'll shoot another one.
No?
All right.
Unless they need me to shoot another one. Well, that was educational.
Okay, well, it's going to go up even from there. So I got even a better one for you. Come
Great.
here. So this area right here has movable walls, movable doors, so you can make big rooms, small rooms, anything you want. So we have the ability to set this up to look like a commercial site, a residential site, whatever. And in here, when we bring role players in, we can put officers through any number of scenarios. A few months ago, this area right here was set up as a home, and there was a man and a woman involved in a fight, like a typical domestic dispute that officers have to handle every single day. And we had officers come in and go through the process of handling that call. This can also be an area that, should we want to bump up the threat level, we have equipment and gear that we can actually fire projectiles in here. We can shoot what's called simunition. It's not bullets, it's not ammunition, but it simulates firing shots, and it gives us the ability then for officers to face threats that'll actually shoot a projectile at you. So this area here is very versatile and very realistic. So it's my most favorite place in the entire building, because you're not looking at screens, you're not wearing virtual reality, it's not static. This is dynamic, fluid, and real, which is what we want. So today we're going to have you go through a actual scenario where you're going to have a suspect in this area someplace hiding from you who means to do you harm, and you're going to have to find him, and you're going to have to deal with that threat. You ready?
Sure.
Okay. So here's what scenario we have. We have a dispatch call of a person armed with a gun who had come into this business, and he was threatening people. All the employees have evacuated, but they think he's still inside. So our mission is to safely search this building until we can find and encounter this person and see what happens from there. Because of the fact the person is armed, we want to go in ready for an armed encounter. So when you take the gun, keep your index finger along the side, don't put it on the trigger. Only time we go to the trigger is when we're ready to shoot. From here, keep in a low ready position. So this way, if you need to come up on sight picture, all you're doing is going from here to here, but you keep the gun a little bit low so you can see over. And then what we'll do is we'll start going through this maze in this hallway here methodically. So if you come over here and take a look for a second, if you're standing here and you're going to enter into this area here, you want to be a little bit wide and incrementally kind of keep stepping forward until you can see more and more of the inside. So for example, if I'm hiding in here, kind of sort of do what I demonstrated and tell me when you can see me.
Okay. Okay.
All right. I can only see a little sliver of you.
Okay.
So the idea is you want to be able to see as much of me as possible with also having protection for yourself. So that way you could, if I'm the suspect, you could challenge me, you could order me out from there. You're not having to come all the way in, and you're not giving up too much of your body that if I've got a gun, that it gives me a lot to shoot at you with. So that's how we'll do it when we move through here, is slowly kind of round these corners and be prepared for encountering the suspect. Whenever we move into a new area, you want to give announcements. Thornton Police Department, anybody inside, let us know. So now we know somebody's in there because we just heard a gunshot. So we'll have to move in there. We know that the people have left, so that gunshot could have been maybe he harmed himself. Maybe he was letting us know he's armed, so who knows what that's about. But we'll take it a little bit slow and we'll kind of work through the building as we go. So make your announcements.
Thornton PD, is anyone in there? Thornton PD.
Okay, go ahead and move on in. You've made your announcements. Good, slowly work these corners. All right, do you see anything?
I see a helmet.
Okay, Get on point, get ready to confront him, see if you can order him out.
Put your hands up, come out.
Tell him he's under arrest.
You're under arrest. Put your hands in the air.
Okay, threat, threat, threat.
Put your hands up in the air. Put your gun down. Nope, go ahead. Put your gun down.
Nope. Take him. Neutralize the threat.
Put your hands up where I can see them.
All right, so now we can
Now we can go in.
move in. Yeah, we might put him down on his belly, keep him away from the gun. I'm your cover officer. Maybe I'll move in here. You keep on him. I'll keep on the gun. And then we take him into custody. We also have a duty to render aid. You've shot him now twice. So once we have him safe, we need to stop the bleeding. We need to assess whether he's breathing and render whatever aid until we can get rescue units in. So a lot that we have to do, and there's a number of areas like before when we were in the room with the video screen. We're actually going to start incorporating bringing dummies in there so that after the shooting happens, we're going to throw a dummy out on the ground so officers remember to render aid. That's the next step, so they don't just shoot and then walk away. So a lot of things we have to do: secure the weapon, render aid to him, call backup, and go from there.
Well, that was pretty amazing. Thank you for sharing all of the things that you do here. Talk to us a little bit about how important this station is for our community.
It's incredible. Having the ability to do such diverse training all under one roof. We're not renting spaces. We're not going out of Thornton to other facilities. We get to do it right here in Thornton. It just means the world to us because we've never had this before. We've done gym work wherever we could find a gym. Sometimes that was in the water treatment plant or in a school or in a church or a community center. This gives us the ability to put everything right here. We can bring our equipment in, we can do everything here, and we can go from one area to another. We can start a scenario on the video screens, and then we can move that realistically into the room where you encountered Levi for the shooting. It just gives us so much to do. And we didn't even get to the driving pad. We have a driving pad here too that's covered in snow right now, but it also gives us the ability to do low speed precision driving as well. So it's just an absolute amazing thing. In all the years I've been here, I never thought I would see a facility like this.
I know this was years in the making. It was something that we worked on for a very long time to figure out how we could put it in the budget. But a big part of that was to be able to keep our officers in the city of Thornton for all of their training. How far did you have to drive to do training across the state?
We would have to go all the way out to Golden sometimes, or up to even the Flat Rock Center, which is way out by DIA. And we've gone further. Our range facility for years was up in Longmont. So having everything here is tremendously important, very big benefit. And I think it's just going to enhance the overall professionalization of the police department.
Well, it's a beautiful facility, and you've done an amazing job putting it together. So very proud of the work of our Thornton officers. Thank you very much. Thank you for spending some time with me today.
Absolutely. And on behalf of the officers, thank you for the facility. What did you think going through all this today?
It was eye-opening.
In what way?
You hear a lot about the training and you hear a lot about the efforts, but when you actually have to be in a scenario, it's a completely different feeling.
Yeah, our officers benefit greatly from that. The more realistic we can make things, the better. And like I said, classroom only gets you so far. Getting out of the classroom and actually experiencing those things is just absolutely invaluable.
And I'll do a little plug for our Citizens Academy as well. This is open for anyone in our community to come in and learn how to do this and get trained as a citizen as well, right?
There is an application process and there's a screening system. We don't run that down here, but we do host a lot of the trainings that occur down here, and our staff down here conducts a lot of that training. So certainly worth looking into. We've been doing that since 2000. So we're 20 plus years into that now, and it's been phenomenal.
Well, thank you so much. This was amazing. And thank you all for joining us on Thornton Now to see this amazing training facility here in the city of Thornton.